Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're all doing phenomenal. We're really excited for the stream today because there's a lot of tension in the air and everybody's wondering what's going on. Were they right? Are they right? Is it over? Is the cycle topped? Pack our bags, go home. I think you guys all know the answer to what I think by now. My thesis has not changed, and we have held above the 50-week moving average. And actually, if Bitcoin were to go down and sweep last week's lows, that would be perfectly fine as long as we close the week above the 50-week moving average. Okay, and that could actually set us up for a bigger move. In fact, there seems to be some bullish divergence on the daily for Bitcoin. We'll have a look at that with Rob. And just a lot of stuff, guys. I'm so excited. Why am I excited? Why am I excited right now while things are shaky, while the market seems uncertain? I'm excited because this is where you get your entries, right? Like this is where you make that money, where you learn the skills that will help you ride the next wave in a way, that you might not have been able to do before, right? You'll have new skills and it's really exciting. And I was just going over some setups with Rob right before we started this stream that are looking ready. All right. And I'll give you a hint. One of those setups, altcoin setups, is ICP. I believe it was ICP. Yeah. So we are looking at setups that are ready to explode. We're getting positioned. Yesterday's theme was Dancing Queen. Okay. Meaning that a lot of the setups that are retesting their daily 9 SMA are sort of like oscillating up and down and just right on that region, dancing above and below. And this is the time to get positioned, right, for the bigger moves, to pick the bags of cash up off the floor. Now, you might be wondering, why are we coming down a little bit like this? Well, there's several reasons. Actually, I see it maybe as a healthy thing before blast off that we come back and sweep these lows right now. And I don't think necessarily that we'd be going down much further. I think maybe if we did get back down to that $98,000 to $99,000 level, people would be calling for much lower levels. And that's potentially when we could see that reversal. But we're not going to predict. We're just going to react to price action as we get it. Rob did post in the Discord earlier in the Crypto Gents chat. Heads up traders, major data delays this week due to the recent U.S. government shutdown. Key economic reports are delayed or rescheduled. So the CPI originally set for Wednesday, the 13th, the PPI and unemployment claims now released weekly. So we've had a bit of a delay here. So the drops are not coming on time, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics is catching up on missed September and October data. So expect rescheduling or silence until further notice. So how does that impact your trading? Well, I think one of the things we just saw is Bitcoin played out another move to the downside. Volatility may spike on rumors of private sector estimates. No official confirmation, no clean setup. Stay nimble, protect capital, and avoid over leveraging. Right. So the market's a little bit uncertain, but at the same time, we're getting an insane opportunity and insane entries on a lot of these coins, right? So that's what we're looking at. And we actually crushed it on some of the day trading setups that were posted in the Hive trading group and Discord. Guys, the link is in the description below, as always. I will be going to Lisbon to a huge creator conference this weekend from Friday. So tomorrow is going to be our crypto and cocktails edition, not Friday. So do tune in tomorrow. Bring your favorite cocktail. We are really going to nail it tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun and some surprises in store. So the Discord is still open because we decided to leave it open a little bit longer until I go to this conference to give you guys a chance to get in, and the early people will be rewarded, and that's just how it is. So you guys, thanks so much for being a part of our community. We are going to absolutely crush it. So I'm here to just do a mental check with you today. If you're having a hard time watching altcoins bleed a little bit, just know that I just feel like we're so close to the next leg of this bull run. I'm going to give you some more reasons as to why about my thesis, as well as the title of this, which is, the crypto bull cycle market top explained. So a lot of people are still going off the 4-year cycle theory. I always say I believe it's more liquidity driven. We have many delays for many different reasons in this cycle, and we have not caught up to that global M2 liquidity. And also the theory that I saw Rand talk about it on his show today, which I spoke about it last week. Anthony Pompliano had a podcast with a guy who was talking about the fact that a lot of OG Wells could be selling their Bitcoin at these levels, and there's data to show that. So I have not looked at the data, but the theory does sort of make sense in that he says that old Bitcoin OG whales are sort of redistributing their profits, right? Some of them are billions in profits. So Bitcoin never had an IPO, and potentially they are taking some of those profits and diversifying a little bit into potentially things that have more room to run, right? After riding the Bitcoin wave for, as many years as they have. So that's another theory. One other thing I want you guys to think about, which I think is very interesting. This is from Steve from Crypto Crew University. Hold on, I got to remove this first. Just things to think about as when this market cycle could top. Okay. He just posted this the other day. So this 150-year-old chart predicted 1929, 1999, 2007, and 2020, decades before they happened. And its next major signal, 2026, a peak year, not doom, a sell the top kind of peak, stronger than the usual 4-year cycle, crypto cycle. If Benner was right about the last 150 years, are we headed for an extended bull run into early 2026? I really like this chart because I think it's cool to just look back at history, and it's been scarily accurate. And it's also entertaining and it's fun. And it's maybe something to add to the confluence of why I believe we're going to follow the rise in global liquidity into mid 2026 and, end the year with maybe a mini bear market correction, right? So he's not saying that it's going to be a crash to the likes of, 1999 or 2007, but he's saying that, potentially a very euphoric peak to sell the top. So that just adds confluence to my theory that we have not seen the cycle peak yet, right? Until proven otherwise, I'm going to continue with this theory. And I do think that we could spill into 2026, right? So that's just some of the data. Actually, there was big news that came out today. I just want to show you this chart, by the way, so you can actually see it a little bit closer up. Here we are right here, right? So right where this red circle is in 2026, a sell the peak kind of thing, but not a doom and gloom crash yet. He explained that the doom and gloom crash could come to the likes of 2032 or something like that. But that's well and far away. We're trying to nail it now. We're trying to get the skills now to ride this next wave to potentially retire you, right? All of you who are working 9-to-5 jobs, who want to get out of the grind, who want to learn how to trade, we are giving you that information for free here. People pay college, university tuitions to learn how to make money in life. And we're sitting here on YouTube trying to help you get the resources to do this. And, it's just incredible value. So if you like that, smash the like, hit the subscribe, share this. You know the drill, guys. We are going to crush it together. And those of you who are tuning in each and every day and rewatching the videos and taking notes, you are absolutely going to crush it and thrive. That's all I have to say. So on that note, I'd like to bring up Rob. What's up, Rob?
Oh, not too much. How you doing? Hello.
Oh, sorry, I froze there. All good. I don't know, the internet here in Spain, not too great right now, but all good. We're just waiting and watching. I know a lot of people are a little bit spooked by this last dip for Bitcoin here. What are your thoughts on the market right now?
My thoughts. I understand why people are scared because we're dancing around, and usually during the local lows, people always get fearful, and they usually drop their bags at this level because you get kind of that excitement. Yesterday, you get that like, oh, we're finally going. Yesterday, like that's what we kind of had going on yesterday. Then we came back down. We're revisiting the lows, sweeping the lows, potentially on some coins, and then they're like, "Oh man, I was wrong again. Everybody's wrong again." Then they actually just sat there and get out of their bags, and all of a sudden it takes off. Then they're like, "That's not real this time," and it goes up even a little bit higher, a little bit higher. Then they're like, "Oh, I got to buy back in higher," and they get back in. So
Right.
that kind of seems like that type of market right now. And also,
A lot of,
too,
yeah.
one really exciting chart that I just actually made up right now that I'm looking at that I think you guys would be really excited about here for your altcoins. You want me to show that one whenever we get into the charts? Let me show that one first. I didn't show you this one yet either. So,
Oh, it's a surprise. We had a surprise for our regular OGs on this stream. I'm so excited for this. We're going to pull that up right now. Okay. So just 1 minute as I get the charts going, but I want to shout out to the audience. Gab, you're new here. Hello. Homonym, good evening. You made it on time. We didn't make it on time. We've been building, guys. So it's a little bit backlog, but tomorrow we are going to make it right on time, even a little bit earlier for Crypto and Cocktails. So JD, what's up? Always good to see you. 24 hours, 7,000 ADA. Let's go. You're right, Homonym. I don't have my Bitcoin hat today, and I feel really off without it. Creature of habit. I got to wear that thing every single day. I got to get new colors or something, right? But I just love it. I love it. I love the spirit. JD, the Flare airdrop. So it's not a Flare airdrop. So we're, I don't know if you're referencing ATH Vodka, the ATH token. That is built on Flare, and we are rewarding early supporters by downloading the app, which is live now. But I will get into more details when we get closer to launch. And of course, all of you guys here in the Hive community who are in the Hive Discord will have access to a lot of information on that. So do sign up to the Discord, guys. The link is in the description below. Anyone else concerned with why ADA hasn't been able to durably break and hold above $1 this cycle? $3 seems like an unrealistic moonshot at this point. I mean, I know it feels like that, Peter, because of the, all the emotions that go into the slow bleed with altcoins and stuff right now. But last we looked, I mean, ADA was retesting its 1 day 9 as well. Not a lot of volume on it, but things will pick up as soon as conditions are better for altcoins. So I don't see anything particularly alarming with ADA that isn't the same for the rest of the altcoin sector. JD, you say you have 7,000 ADA ripped off from, I don't know what you are referring to because I'm not too sure what you're referring to there, but maybe DM me and we'll talk about that because there's nothing going on in the Hive as far as airdrops or anything like that. But, we'll try to get you some help if you did have some problems there. So yeah, guys, beware. Rob and I will never DM you first. There's a lot of fake people going around. So just be sure, like our roles, our admin, and let me tell you that right now. Actually, Rob, let's bring up the Hive so people can see what our roles are. What do you say?
Yep. Oh. So where is that part at?
Right. Can you make it full screen? There we go. Yeah, so let's see. If you just click on my name, maybe. If you click on crypto, the Hive chat. Yeah, right. That one. So you can see my name is in red. If you click on it or you hover over it, I think you can see what my roles are.
Yes. So one thing that I do, if anybody ever DMs me, you go into the group and the person that's actually real, you go there and you got to try to DM them as well too, and to see if that's the same person. That's a really good rule of habit.
Right. So JD, I don't know what actually happened there, but we'll be sure to get you help and try to get to the bottom of that if something did. Okay. But guys, we're going to continue on with the stream because we have a lot of stuff going on, and Rob has a surprise update for everybody. So Rob, let's get to it.
All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's go to the most exciting chart that I just found, which I'll just pull up first. This is one right here I think to be paying attention to big time. This is ETH/Bitcoin in the 1 week chart. And something I just turned off all my indicators on it, and I left the weekly 50 on it. Since we were testing weekly 50 on Bitcoin, I was like, what's ETH/BTC look like on the weekly chart with the 50? And this is what I saw. We retested here. We retested it in this zone. We broke out here, and we broke out here. And whenever I started looking at that, let me turn off this volume a little bit because that's going to be a little bit cloudy there. And when I started looking at when those happened, I thought was that what made it really important. So I put a date on this one here, the 17th. put a date on it right around here, the 18th. And I wasn't in the markets at that time, but I'm pretty sure that altcoins had a huge run during those dates.
Right, right.
I was around during these times, and I could kind of remember these times. And 2021, March, April, and whenever we had that big run, last bull run, was that after a retest of the weekly, after we broke through it, retested it, then we had 3 retests on it basically, and then we ran up hard. So we just broke through it back in here, and we wicked down to it, and we're retesting the weekly SMA 50 right now on E/BTT, which some people use this as a indicator for alt season. So the question is, are we going to keep retesting? Are we retesting this to get ready for an alt season, which I know that's what everybody's wondering. So there's just an indicator that, hey, this historically, this has been a very good show for it. So
right.
Wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I like this as just more confluence to the thesis that we have about, potentially things bottoming out here and getting ready to blast off. So it's really exciting to see. I really like this chart indeed. Peter says ETH BTC target 0.051 for end of year to Q1 2026. Could be. I don't know if we can pull up targets like that, but I don't know where you're getting your targets there, Peter. Can we look at that?
What do you say?
He said 0.051 for end of year.
I mean, by end of year, I have that's the 0.5 Fibonacci level zone, so right underneath it. So why not? I mean, if it starts going up and going parabolic in the next month, sure. But to make this big move right here, it took quite a bit of time. So what percentage move is that? So like this move from here to here, 95%. That took a very, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like that's almost quite a few weeks there.
Right.
And I mean, by sometime next year, sure. But end of year, unless we get some kind of crazy rally, then yeah. But if we don't get some kind of crazy rally, this took 112 days from there to there. So realistically, I think that time stamp might be kind of hard to say on that.
Right. Timing is also always hard in crypto, but we have the levels mapped out there for what could happen throughout the rest of the course of the cycle, for sure.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
That's a 0.5 fib. I mean, that's a reasonable level to aim for. Just I'm not sure if we can do that in a month and a half.
Right. Yeah. No, very interesting chart indeed. More confluence to the thesis. JD, I'm really sorry. I'm seeing your messages here in the chat. We'll definitely help you sort that out afterwards, but our Discord is not deleted. I'm not sure what Discord you signed up to. I can try to help you, with whatever may have happened. But guys, we're never going to DM you. Check our roles for admins. As you saw, you can see my name is in red. Rob has his special Crypto Gents role. So do be safe out there. And JD, we will get that solved by the end of the show. Okay.
Yeah.
Or navigate.
If there's anything that we ever offer, anything like that, it will be in a public form, not on IPM ever. We'll never personally message anybody with any exclusive offers. I think I was in one group and I got immediately DM'd by some guy that was trying to get me to buy some kind of indicator package or something like that. That was a special elite deal for people who were special, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, yeah, you're a scammer.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are a lot of opportunistic people, and we do filter and we do require a phone number, a lot of stuff to get into the Discord. So I'm not sure if you were just in a separate link that was not the actual correct link, JD. I'm not sure. But guys, we have to be really careful in crypto. There are a lot of opportunists. Always double check things, always triple check. Actually, it's funny because I was sort of joking about it, but not really. We're in Mercury retrograde right now for those of you who like that kind of woo-woo stuff. And a lot of these kind of things happen. So we've got to double check, got to make sure everything's in order, and don't send your funds to anyone, okay? And that's just that. Mistakes happen, accidents happen, JD, so don't get too down on yourself about this, but we will try to help you sort it out, okay? And on that note, we're going to finish the stream, but we will be in touch afterward. So what are we looking at next here, Rob?
All right, let's go into Bitcoin. You want to go into Bitcoin? You want to go into some alts? Don't matter to me.
Let's have a look at Bitcoin levels just for a minute, just to calm people's nerves.
All right. Which one am I on? So we are going to go into the 4-hour chart. So what this looks like to me is we just got rejected. Well, that's moved on me. But we basically just got rejected from basically this trend line area, this resistance up in here, and we're coming back down. We're testing support. And if we go underneath this support, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my bullish order blocks here, if they want to turn on. Was it the 1 day time frame they were on? Yeah, so basically we have a big bullish order block right here underneath support. And basically sometimes what will happen is we come up and fill that bullish order block in the 12-hour chart here, and we could do that in lower time frames and kind of close underneath here a few times and then come back up. And basically what I'm looking at right now is if we do close on, we do start closing underneath here, we don't close underneath this trend line, we don't get like breakdown volume, or I can't really judge on volume on this one here because we might be sweeping the lows or getting a liquidity grab. And I'm going to go back into, let's go over into this right here. And what that is, a liquidity grab, basically, and liquidity sweep is whenever you go underneath the support. A liquidity sweep is whenever you kind of close underneath there a few times and then we go back up above it. Some people call it a bear trap as well too. And then you get a nice, then it just kind of skyrockets off. So we're kind of looking for that kind of opportunity right now. And basically, whenever you get underneath there, sometimes you get some big volume underneath there as well too. That leads you that you're getting some kind of crazy breakdown. And if you do kind of short it, you have to put type stop losses in because it does reverse and do this type of thing right here. Due to we're not closed underneath the weekly SMA 50 yet, we can expect something like this to kind of happen. And whenever that happens, you get a fast blast off to the other side, and you have to kind of switch and you look for a fair value gap or something like that to kind of get in. So you kind of break up above it, you get one red candle, and that's going to be basically your best entry, as it says right over here. Then we blast off. Whether it's going to be sweep or a grab, I don't have one for a picture diagram for what a grab looks like, but a grab is just one wick underneath it. A sweep is multiple candles underneath support, and then it goes up. If it was a liquidity grab, it would be just one candle. So that's kind of what we're looking for at Bitcoin as of right now. We're kind of looking for that liquidity grab or sweep, one or the other, before it kind of blasts up. And we got this nice falling wedge being printed right now. So typically this has a 68% chance of breaking to the upside. And so I'm going with probabilities as well too. And then it's also called this would be considered a 12-hour bullish charge buy zone, change of character. We got a 12-hour change of character, and that's just basically saying you should be buying down in this area, not selling.
Right. Well, there's a crime. We're going to be buying, guys. I like this more bullish confluence, and I really appreciate the definition there between the difference of sweeping the lows and a liquidity grab. I think these are all really valuable things to add to your toolkit, guys. So you can understand what's happening, and the 12-hour change of character, all of these things to help you gauge, where we're at and just whether the risk is to the upside or the downside. And these are the things we're going to try to teach you in the group, and that we're building a course around to get you the best entries and the bull market exits, all the things you want help with and you want to know. So Krikra, welcome to the show. Hello. Hey, Dry Ciders, I love your energy and your vibe. Let's go. Yeah, we're on here to crush it. We're about to go over some of the altcoin setups, guys, that look ready. And as I always say on this channel, take action. Watch the video, take notes, study, have a strategy. Let's go. Now is the time. Phenomenal entries potentially. So let's have a look at some of those.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the one thing I always like stressing over as well too, is the more you know, the better the better you're off, because then you understand what's going on, and it's easier if you understand what's going on. It's easier to execute a trade. So that's why I go over a lot of that stuff that people don't really talk about, because if you get a long wick underneath there, you're like, oh, this is wrong. No, it's the liquidity sweep. Just because it broke down and came back up doesn't mean TA doesn't work. It just means it was a different part of TA that you haven't learned just yet. So the more information, the more power you have in trading. So we're going to look at Stark. We did post this breakout setup yesterday in group, which we got a nice breakout on it. And we had a good, let's see here, a good 16%. So if you did even put some leverage on it, you had great gains on it, but 16% move in spot. And then I was hoping for like a little bit pullback, and I could sit there and show in group here, spot. So like up in here's where I posted it. We hit TP1. We got all the way up to take profit 2 basically. And I was looking for a little bit of a pullback, hoping for like an inverse hand, a low time frame, inverse head and shoulders type thing. So I was expecting some pullback, but I did take some profits to add back in. But once we got rejected fully, we started getting that strong volume earlier today. I just got stopped out of my whole position for my day trade there. And now when we look at it, I posted right here, are we sweeping the lows? That's whenever I posted this diagram in there, so people understand what I'm talking about. And right now we're going to sit there and see, here's this red candle. We didn't get too much volume just yet, but I'm looking for the retest of this support level, see if it holds. The retest of the 30-minute 9 as well too is going to be right in there. Usually when you start retesting something, the SMA 9 is pretty dang close to it, so it gives you a good area to where if we do come all the way down here, you get an entry on it. you know where to put your stop loss at. So you're sitting there looking at this, you get an entry right here. And this is the sweeping of the lows, which did go underneath it, close a couple candles. Now we're above it again, right? Is it a bear trap?
There you go. Looking at it real time, what sweeping the lows is.
Yep. So basically what we're looking to see if this kind of confirms right in this area. We want to see a couple candle closes above it. We're not getting strong volume, so I'm not expecting a fast move to where I'm going to ape in right this second. I want to look for that confirmation right now, maybe scale in a little bit like that. Let's go ahead and turn on some order blocks, see what it looks like, see if I'm missing anything. That's the one I like doing it by my naked eye at first, and I turn on this unless I'm in a really big rush, and I just turn these on. And well, we have a fair value gap right there. So we do have a nice large fair value gap. So now you know you can, that's right where my trend line's at. So what a fair value gap is, kind of like an order back block, but weaker. There's some possible orders on there. So I'm going to move it right to the center of this fair value gap, which lines up right with this line over here. Very, very nice. And fair value, the center of fair value gaps are typically great entries for risk to reward. And you're looking at right here. Now, when I look at that, we had this nice big bullish order block down here, and we just filled that up here. And you see that wick underneath that? That was actually a liquidity grab right there. Sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're shorter. So we did have a liquidity grab underneath the bullish order block. See how there's no candle closes down under there, but there's just wicks. That's whenever you're just grabbing liquidity. There might have been stop losses or something like that underneath there that just got stopped out. Now it's up, and they're going to be waiting for it to come back down. And they probably won't get to re-enter, and they'll re-enter way back up here and get, yeah. So that's kind of what happens, and kind of we got to be ready for it. So,
wow, all right. This is good, like painting the picture of what's happening here. Now you guys know, you can understand what sweeping the lows is, how that looks, and the psychology behind it, right? So like Rob said, maybe they're going to try to wait for it to come back down there. It might not. They might buy back in higher, and this is how sort of the reversal happens, or the next leg up happens, right? So it's really interesting to see, and this is a very hyped coin. So there's been lots of volume lately, so keep an eye on this one for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. A lot of information right there real fast. But again, that's just one of those things so if you ever get wicked out on trading and stuff like that, now you're going to start understanding why you're getting wicked out. And then you can prepare for that to happen. And then we'll start teaching later on, what do you do when you do get wicked out? Like how do you respond to it? What kind of actions do you take? Do you just sit there and go, well, my trade went bad? No, there's times I get wicked out, I get stopped out, and I just sit there and look at it. I'm like, all right, this happened. I'm going to get right back in. If my stops weren't at break even, or if I didn't take profits by that time, or my stops were in profit, I get a little bit of a loss. I get to make up that loss. Or if I did get kind of stopped out in profits, I get to take those profits and roll them over and try again. And I'm okay with trying 3-4 times. It's part of the game. It's part of trading. It makes it fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go. So as long as you manage your risk properly, you can get in several times to try to catch that entry if you get stopped out, and it is part of the game. So don't get frustrated. Just keep going.
Yep. It's part of the game. And nobody says it's easy money in trading. It's not easy money. You got to work at it a little bit. If it was that easy, everybody would just do it and be rich.
That's right. That's right. We're giving you the edge here in the hive with all of this information, valuable information that Rob has, in order to be able to have the best odds, the best opportunity to make money in these markets.
Yeah, I'm giving you guys all the stuff that that made me lose for a long time, and so now you're getting to kind of get that push forward to where you don't have to go through those losing opportunities like that, or those learn from that. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
All right, so we're looking at LINEA. So I'm liking this one right now because we had a bunch of volume come in today. Very strong volume that we had, and we came back down, and now we're retesting the support here. And I haven't took an entry just yet because how the market has been today. But what I like to see us do is hold this position right here. And this is one of those coins that looks like it just popped out of nowhere really fast. And that's what kind of started doing earlier today, because I had alerts go off of it, and I wasn't at a computer to look at it. And now we're kind of came back down on it. We got rejected from this bearish order block and the 4-hour SMA 200. So I'm looking to sit there and see if we can get a couple candles to close underneath here, and maybe start scaling in a little bit. I'm probably going to zoom into smaller time frames now and kind of see what we're kind of pattern. We're not really printing anything just yet, but we start getting some volume to pump in here, I'll probably be taking positions. And then once we break this high right here, I'll be able to move my stop losses up. So once we start getting some volume, maybe break the 15-minute, 30-minute 9, see where the 30-minute 9's at. We're retesting it. So this could be a good entry zone. I'm just not seeing the volume just yet. I got to go out with my kids a little bit later, so I don't want to have too many positions open while I'm out running around, because the markets are just choppy right now. So getting in too many positions at one time right now, I think is just not good with how choppy the market is for day trading. That is for scaling in on spot. I would say you might want to start looking scaling from spot on here, because we hold this level here, we're not coming back down this trend line. But if we don't hold this level, we will come back down to this trend line, and we could zoom in and find out what's going on down in here later. So that's kind of where I'm at with LINEA.
Okay, so another setup that is looking fire, and shout out to you, Realize Bear. Thank you for tuning in as always. You can rewatch the rest afterwards. We got some juicy altcoin setups, ICP being one of them. You remember how hyped this was, and Rob got on here and he said people are going to forget about it, they're going to get bored with it, and then it's going to be a good entry again. Are we at that point?
I mean, when I zoom out to the 1 day chart, we did just lose the 1 day 9, but we're also retesting this really strong support zone. So a good fake out on this 1 day 9 is typically, like I said, dancing queen time on the 1 day 9. The 1 day 9 entry was down in here. Now we're gonna start playing that dance. Like if you watch my charts, this is where you start faking out on the 1 day 9. You don't really want to use it because we don't really have like the complete signals on bearish crossovers. We're just going to start, we're looking for the range highs on our oscillator, stuff like that. So we hold this support. We're going to be sitting there looking for a good entry. Now, if we break above it, it's going to be another good long entry. Now, another reason this is too, you don't want to short, and this isn't over yet because we're above the 1 day SMA 200. So in stocks, I think you guys heard me before. So you get a break of the 1 day SMA 200, you kind of ride up, you get it rejected from a certain level, we come back down, we cool off a little bit, we close underneath the 9, then we wait for break above the 9 again for another swing entry. Now, crypto moves a little bit faster, so you kind of got a front run just a little bit sometimes because the stock market, crypto, when it likes to move and leave people behind. So we got to sit there and look to the left a little bit. We're sitting on strong support right now. This is where we start zooming in right now. Let's see what's going on in the smaller time frames. And I really like the way this is kind of starting to, you can kind of start seeing this already right here. You go from here. We're starting to cup a little bit. We're starting to make a little bit of a cup, making some higher lows, potentially some higher highs here soon. We might start making a cup here. Once we start making this cup and get up here, that's when people are going to start calling it out, not when we're getting down close to not when we're testing the strong support. People that are going to be calling out are looking to buy or looking for entry ideas right now, in my opinion. So I sit there and I call it, whenever I start seeing entry positions, that's whenever I like to start calling things out. So what we're looking for right now is we're either looking for a double bottom breakout. If not, if it doesn't get a double bottom breakout right now, what we will be looking for is a support buy. I put a line right here and a slightly higher low. So this technically isn't a double bottom when you go on there. It's actually a slightly higher low. And if you heard me say this before in other videos, what do smart money like to do? Big money like to do? They bought here, came back down, got closed back to low. They bought again, gets rejected here. What are they going to do again? They're going to buy a little bit higher right here. So they're tiptoeing in on these higher lows. Tiptoe. They're going to do another tiptoe. So they're going to keep tiptoeing on these higher lows. Then once it breaks out and everybody gets all excited, it starts going straight up and everybody's getting all hyped on it. It starts breaking out in this area right here. This is when people start buying. This is whenever the smart money was buying was down in here. So this is where I don't like buying whenever it's breaking out like this. I like going in and out in here because then if it does close underneath this trend line and go out and bearishly retest it, I get a small loss, not a big loss, where I've seen it before where this kind of happens and it doesn't take off afterwards. And big money will sit there, and sometimes if the market's not good, they don't like it, they will sit there and start taking profits in here, and you'll see that type of thing. And then if you're buying up in here, you're down whatever percentage. What percentage would that be? You say it got right here. The reason I'm picking this spot is because of this resistance right here. There's nice strong resistance right here, which I'm kind of playing out right here, and it's down 20%. And you took a 20% loss because you bought a breakout, and that's no fun. I've done that. I've had that happen to me multiple times, so I don't play that game anymore. When it starts breaking out like that, I say just put up stop loss and profits and see what happens. If you get stopped out and profit and goes down, whatever. At least you made something. If you get stopped out at break even, at least you didn't lose anything because you were buying on the support.
That's right. Yeah. No, I like this. I like this buying on support, guys. You already have seen a potential picture that could be playing out here. So I like this. I like this a lot. And we're bringing it to you before others are talking about it. So these are like the real skilled entries to where your risk to reward is going to be much better than if you were to get in later when everybody else is hyping it on X. You know, if somebody comes to me and says, so-and-so is talking about this, I'm thinking, okay, it's a little bit too late maybe. You know what I mean? So we're trying to give it to you before that happens here on the Hive Discord. So guys, do sign up. Also, we still have that BYDFi deposit bonus one more week until like the end of this weekend. So yeah, you deposit $100, you get 50 free to trade with and on and up for bigger amounts. So do take advantage of that. Like, go and get that free money and use it to try to practice and to play with. This is a great time to experiment while the market has not yet taken off, so you can start to master these skills. And the link for that is in the description below as well for BYDFi.
100%. Practice makes perfect. That's the only thing I'm going to say that makes people better is practicing, is starting small, work your way up. And if you can get free money to play with, I use my own money. I never got free money to play with. So I never use a demo account as well too, because I don't think that teaches you how to have emotional control. But if you get some free money that actually can pay you out, you might have to have that training there to help you do better. So I definitely sit there and say, do that. Also too, ICP from the local highs is down 41%. What does that mean? If you can't handle 30 to 40, 50% pullbacks, then you can't handle cryptos after you get a good, what kind of rip did we get on this whenever we bought it? We bought it right around here. We had a good 202% rip on it. So yeah, we're down 40% from the local high. So technically we're still from our first entry on here, we're still in profit by like 2x, 100%. So after that 40% pullback, we're in strong profits. And this is where people will sit there and be like, oh, it's done now. And they'll sit there. They bought even down here. Right now for me, it's just a money bag. Remember I said it's a house money bag. I remember before we were talking about this, I said, I'm taking out my initial and it's just going to be all profits. And that's all I have right now is all profits. Now I'm starting looking to take the initial that I had in there and actually DCA. For me, this is buying higher. So after a 40% dip, I'm actually going to be buying higher with the initial that I took out here. Buy high, sell higher. So once we get that in there, I'm going to be sitting there looking to take, once we get a new high up there and we start getting those reversal kind of things, getting strong resistance, I'll be doing the same thing over again, compounding my gains. So
that's another trick you're learning on the show today is how to compound those gains and how to play with house money then after and protect your investment, take out your initials. These are all like tips that are really going to help you in your trading journey.
Yep, 100%. I'm trying to think if there's any other tokens that we are looking at today. No, right now is just a good time to sit there and do some research. Look what's holding up strong, that's staying strong, like ASTER. I do have an entry on it down in here, but I didn't really post that entry because it wasn't very strong. I just thought it might fake out on us, but it's retesting right now, this pattern right here. But there also is a breakout level up here. So this is something to kind of keep your eye on as well too. But right now is just a good time to sit there and go through the market, which I'm going to be going through more and more here in the next day or two. See what's holding strong during why the market's weak. Whatever's holding strong should have usually the best running on the next run up because people aren't selling for a reason.
That's right. That's right. And so those are all the tips and tricks we'll give you for today, guys. It's already been a lot of information and kids are home.
Yep.
Yeah. So guys, I think we're going to wrap it on this note. There's been a lot of information here. Go back and rewatch. There's been some very valuable tips that Rob has given about how to find these higher level entries. And what I say by that is like smart money buys, smart money entries before things pump. And it's a difficult condition right now. There's a lot of chop, there's dancing queen, but take all of this into consideration and you could get some excellent entries. And actually a lot of the work goes into the entry. And then from there, it becomes much easier, right? So if you can get these killer entries, it's really going to help you when the market takes off in a big way.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then the only issue you have after that is when to move up your stop losses, which hopefully eventually here we'll be teaching that as well too. It's just after that, just maintaining your trade. You can walk away and you go to sleep at night knowing that your stop losses are in a safe place and knowing that your capital is protected, because that's the key in trading is protecting your capital. You need in order to trade, you need your ammunition. Your ammunition is capital, so you always got to protect.
Right. Yep. So on that note, guys, I hope you enjoyed this stream. It was a little bit quicker than usual, but you did get a lot of information. So go back and watch this and add it to your, I want to see you guys as like whiteboards or some sort of structure here where you can write this all down. So when you look at these entries, you can sort of think about all the stuff that Rob teaches you on how to get in, on what to look for, sweeping the lows, liquidity grabs, all of these things that normal traders or average traders don't really know to do, right? So you're getting the edge here in the Hive. We have really been enjoying doing these live streams with you. Tomorrow's our last one for this week as I'm going to Lisbon with all the big YouTubers over the weekend. So I'll be putting out some fun content. But tomorrow, pull up with your favorite cocktail, coffee, whatever the drink you like, maybe popcorn. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen on Fridays? You know, they get pretty crazy here in crypto. We're going to have a really good time. Okay. So we will see you right on time tomorrow, probably a little bit earlier, but 3:30 p.m. EST, potentially 3:15, but we'll let you know well ahead of time. And we're going to rock and roll, guys. So have an excellent Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good evening, everybody.